I didn't even realize that Night in the Ruts was like right in the nuts until he mentioned it on the last. I was like, oh, oh, okay. That
Then play on words.
I just thought it was like Boston, like we're poor working class kids. We're in the whatever we're in the ruts. I don't know. Just didn't never track
To be fair, I literally just realized that right now as you're saying it, how that play on words works.
because he mentioned it last time. Like next up is Night in the Ruts, right in the nuts, and I'm like,
Yeah. See?
That's
Oh,
why we're here. We bring all the educational
yeah.
stuff.
The more
so I
you
guess the
know.
wisdom, the takeaway here is everything Aerosmith really does come back to Steven Tyler's testicles.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Speaking
hole
of,
in my soul.
welcome to Old Drunken Discography. Well, we're talking 9 lives. If you missed the previous episodes, shame on you, but this is our current rankings right here.
Hey.
I guess I got to move us out of the way so you can see Brian's. We got a little bit of variation here, but if you want to know why he put Get a Grip at number 1, go check out that video.
So we're no longer following the 22222 method.
222 is out the door. We in at 9 lives, baby. 1997, Major Gap. They was rocking on Get a Grip for quite a while. They never
4
left.
years.
They never left the airwaves or the consciousness of the public between those years either. It was kind of like cockroaches. They just wouldn't go away at that point. But 9 lives. Whose turn is it to start it? I started off Get a Grip technically. So, Tim, tell us about 9 lives.
Okay, well, so I thought the title track, Nine Lives, other than the little kitty intro, like I thought that was a pretty rocking song. Falling in Love is Hard on the Knees was the single. They're bringing Glenn Ballard in to co-write that one. And yeah, we're just right in step with Def Leppard at this point, doing the country songs. Hole in My Soul brings back Desmond Child. Taste of India brings back Glenn Ballard. Full Circle, it's okay. Like, I don't know. There was one thing I really felt was interesting with this album is it's probably the best sounding one. And so I looked to see who produced it, and it was produced by Kevin Shirley, and he's about to embark on his now 25-year career producing Iron Maiden albums. So I thought that was pretty interesting. Otherwise, it's pretty much the same songwriting team as before, but we've introduced Marty Fredrickson, who, he's written some stuff for Gavin Rossdale, Carrie Underwood, Buck Cherry, Motley Crue, Faith Hill, and Ozzy. He also was the dude who did the vocals for the band in Almost Famous.
Oh,
He's
okay.
Jason Lee's singing voice. So I thought that was pretty interesting. And I thought that three or four songs that he co-wrote with Tyler and Perry on this album are the strongest ones. Everything else really feels like just super formulaic. We're kind of treading into that Matchbox 20 area. The Farm. I thought The Farm was probably the highlight of the album. I thought that one was pretty good. Overall, though, no, this one, like, you talked about Get a Grip sounding too much like 93. Well, this one, what year was this? 01? 97? Yeah, this sounds like 97, but not in a good way for me. Yeah, it is. This is It was around this point in the general discography where I went, it doesn't really matter what they do. Like, they're competent enough that they can pull it off, and like, it sounds good, but they're not introducing anything new here. They're just kind of, I don't know, I feel like they wrote this album in their sleep almost. Nothing really jumped out at me.
I'll follow up on that one. So they're back on Columbia. Not a single song solely written by the band. Every song has outside writers. I was way off the Aerosmith train when this album came out. I remember Cowboy getting it, hearing it back in the day, and not liking it. So let's listen to it again for this video. The cat noises in the opening are dumb, but the song itself is okay. Falling in Love, I never liked it. Still don't like it to this day. It's just not Aerosmith for me. It's not as bad as what some other aging bands were doing at the time. It's not new metal or anything, but it's still, Hole in My Soul, not yet.
Oh, it's coming.
Oh, it's coming, yes. I don't mind Hole in My Soul. It's a pretty pop rock song. Vocal melody on the verses is pretty cool. It's okay. Taste of India, the whole rock band doing the India thing was cool in the 60s. A little late on this one, Aerosmith. Honestly, I think the Beatles are the only ones that pulled that off. The rest just sound patronizing. And they did get in trouble with their album cover. That's not the original album cover, but Full Circle's pretty good. It would be great if Crazy didn't exist. This sounds like someone writing what they think an Aerosmith song should sound like because they heard Get a Grip. There's some good Rolling Stone blues on the verses, and even the verses sound very Jagger. So it isn't all bad, just nothing new. Something's Gotta Give, I liked it. The harmonica was cool, but the production sounded bad. Everything was blended together and muddled for some reason, like they were trying to replicate a dirty bar band sound, but failed horribly at it. The bass was way too loud and muddled. I bet it would be great live, though. Ain't That a Bitch? Weird film noir feel in the beginning. I had to rewind the part with, yeah, you're down on your luck, and you don't give a huh. He really said huh instead of fuck. What the fuck?
It's coming up again later, but they're going to bleep it anyway, right?
Yeah. I kind of like it the second time around. After that, the song was okay. The Farm was interesting. I liked what he did with the lyrics and using the Wizard of Oz as a metaphor. Musically, it didn't sound like Aerosmith. It was different. It does get a little repetitive, but it kind of works in the context of the song. What the hell was Crash? I was not expecting that. Aerosmith goes punk, ? Best song on the album. It's just too long, though. It doesn't need to be over 4 minutes. Kiss Your Past Goodbye. Boring and not interesting at all. Would have made a really great country song if it was tweaked a little, I suppose. Production's good. Pink is the stupidest song in their discography. How was this a single? Honestly, I thought this was just on Just Push Play. Is it so bad it's good? Is it Aerosmith's Cruising California? I don't know. Attitude Adjustment kind of sounds like 90s post-grunge alternative. This would have made a better single in 97. I don't mind it.
I'm going to say it's Aerosmith's Beverly Hills.
Ooh,
that's a better comparison. Yeah. Fallen Angels. When I saw it was 8 minutes long, I thought for sure some of it would be dead space for a hidden track. Nope. They filled up all 8 minutes. It's a better closer than Boogeyman or the movie, but again, could have been a top 40 country hit. And could have removed about 3 minutes of it. So, that's 9 lives.
You know what? I'm going to follow up that one. Alright, 9 lives. Decent opener. Sounds almost like you would kind of expect at this point, though. Falling in Love. Actual instrument changes going on? Damn. And I just thought it was really interesting, actually, some of the stuff they were doing. Hole in My Soul. It just kind of drags on really bad for me. Like, that one just really never got it. Taste of India, really different. Um, I actually kind of liked it.
This is the one we should have went back and forth on.
Probably. Full Circle. I thought that was a really fun song, actually. It thought flowed very well. I was a real big fan of it. Something's Gotta Give. It's different and interesting, so I kind of liked it. And this, as a whole for me, this album just kind of it was different. Um, Ain't That a Bitch? Yeah, it happened. Um, Parts I thought were cool. I mean, now kind of the chorus part I thought was interesting, but after that, eh. The Farm was not for me. Um, it just kind of happened. Crash, Aerosmith's trying punk now. All right, I would be down for a punk album. Be kind of interesting to listen to.
I'd be down for that.
It did remind me of this newest Offspring single.
I don't know. This is more punk than the new Offspring single.
Yeah. So the new
Okay,
Offspring single's a lot
I'll have to
more
go back
pop.
and listen to that, but that was the one that was really popping in my head with it. So
I mean, Green Day's on Nimrod at this point. Like, you know what they're doing. They know what they're doing.
So this would have been the year before Americana. So year after Ixnay?
Yeah, this is after Smash Doogie. They know what they're doing.
Yeah. Let's see. Now we've got Kiss Your Past Goodbye. Okay, got some minor chords going on. It's got some stuff happening. It just I don't know. It was okay. Try not to eat a moth here. It happened. Pink, least favorite single. Granted, in a lot of ways, that was kind of like the last single that I felt was halfway decent before because they have, yeah. It was okay. Like single wise, well, definitely was not a fan of any singles that followed Pink. Not that I want to spoil anything ahead, but yeah.
Jaded.
We'll get to that album, don't worry. Attitude Adjustment. I'm gonna stick that one and Fallen Angels together, even though they're definitely not the same, but like it just kind of the album just kind of went to an end. Like really wasn't a fan of it. Fallen Angels just was slow, dragged on. Had some kind of like haunting stuff going on, but other than that, there really wasn't a lot going on for those last two.
It's weird. Like, Get a Grip, I think the singles are the best part. This album, I think the deep cuts are better than the singles.
Oh God, yeah.
Like, they picked the wrong singles for the time. They should have picked Attitude Adjustment, The Crash. I think those would have done better.
and you can totally hear why the singles were picked, though. They're basically
Oh, yeah,
radio
they're-
formula ready. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it makes sense.
Yeah,
Just copy paste.
I don't think it's about being the better song. I mean, but like getting new people's attention. You know, like Living on the Edge got my attention when I was 10 or 11. I never would have known who these assholes were. I didn't see Eat the Rich Living on the Edge on MTV at my grandparents' house.
They'd have found
Right.
you before you were 18.
But I think maybe that, that single selection was just to get attention, just to get more new fans if they could. And it worked, because I remember Pink being very popular amongst people who did not give a shit about Aerosmith at that point.
I saw in the Aerosmith Facebook group that I joined that there was these two people talking about how 9 Lives and Just Push Play were their favorite Aerosmith because that was when they were 13. So,
Oh, I was about to say, are they 30? 35?
Yeah, that nostalgia's a hell of a drug.
Nostalgia is a hell of a drug.
My wife's 35, and this was what Aerosmith was for her, was 9 Lives and Just Push Play.
Yep.
That was her get a grip for me. Yeah, I'll go ahead and shoot in here. Um, Nine Lives. I will say that this is a bit more muted for the double entendre, the Nine Lives reference. Till you hear that intro, was not a fan of the cat sounds, but the song itself, Nine Lives, was decent opener, bit of a rocker, still kind of generic for most of the stuff that they had since done with Mirrors. It's just they kind of got this formula going, this sound. Falling in Love, really good use of horns. I enjoyed that. Still able to kind of make it sound aggressive, uh, and still have a blues rock kind of a basis. Uh, I really enjoyed the cadences. The vocals had a bit of attitude. Again, reminded me a little bit of Ragdoll with the vocal delivery, and I felt like it was a sing along tune. You know, it wasn't hard to sing along, and if you wanted to, it's easy to enjoy. Hole in My Soul. I liked the keyboard and guitar intro. It reminded me of Dream On and not in a good way. Like almost like if they use that as a starting point. Like, hey, we had some success with that years ago. Let's try that same A minor. Let's go ahead and work on that
It
starting
happens to
point.
the best of bands this late in their career. They
Es-
just
Especially when you have that
they
many
can't help it.
outside writers.
Yeah, they just
Oh
can't
yeah,
help
good
it.
point. Good point. I felt like the rappy slam poem stuff was a bit predictable in Hole in My Soul. Um, the vocals, the vocals before the song kicks in didn't really match the level that they had reached with some of their rock ballads before this. So that didn't really check the box there for me, and didn't really check in as a good blues rocker either. Taste of India. All right, so first of all, that song sounds really cool. When it's going, I mean, it's a cool sound. It's a cool rhythm. I really enjoyed it. But it's got basic guitar, basic drums. It's rumbling, rambling, cool vocals with it. It's the coolest sound on the album. It's the coolest sound that I heard on this whole album. Um, Full circle. The drums starting off were very misleading. They dropped into a very boring track for me right off the beginning. I thought it was going to be amazing, but once it kicked in, did not like it at all. It was a little early in the album for me for this kind of a ballad for my personal taste, but uh, some of that doo wop style in the verses did make it a little bit easy to listen to. I think the vocal harmonies were pretty good here. Something's got to give. Really cool, tortured sounding guitar intro. And I love the splashy crash cymbals that the drums were doing. The harmonica going into the verses was still kind of flat for me as far as being a rocker. I think it was almost there, but they just kind of made some quick decisions and finished it before they really finished it. Um, Ain't That a Bitch? Another attempt at the streetwise sound in the verses. I really did enjoy the attitude. I did feel like it was a bit more of a radio ready rock and roll track, but it had good stability. And I thought it had some pretty good aggressive vocals by Steven Tyler. The Farm, I will say, badass guitar sound. The opening riffs did sound a bit familiar though, but I still can't place it again. Thought it was a really cool and zany transition for when the verses start. Very catchy hook. I did enjoy this track. I'm going to go ahead and say The Farm is my top track for this album, no matter how cool Taste of India sounded. Crash, good fast paced rocker. Sounded like they had a lot more fun making this song than the rest of the album, and they had more fun making it than I did listening to it. Reminded me of it reminded me of some middle discography of Pearl Jam, and not in a good way. Kiss Your Past Goodbye, another great vocal and guitar intro. I feel like they've really been putting a lot of energy into their intros in the last couple of albums, and this one's no exception. Um, it checked the box for a rocking ballad for me. I love the entendre and the hook. I couldn't help but think the verses sounded a little hokey though. a little bit of secondhand embarrassment listening to it. Pink, I'll try to give as an objective review of this song as I can based on how big of a song it was. My notes are that it had some jangly guitars and accompanied harmonica, made for a decent listen. It wasn't hard to listen to. It's very simple. The lyrics are a bit too on the nose, but it's a pretty decent beat, kind of a catchy song. The bridge is really the only part of the song that makes it worth a second listen, in my opinion. Attitude adjustment. I thought it was really cool how the guitar riff and the vocal delivery go together on the verses. Um, Listened to that one a few times on repeat. Overall, though, it did kind of fall short. Fallen Angels, decent song. This one, it's kind of weird to me because the mix loses the magic of the sound and it sounds very thin. And it almost sounds like there was supposed to be more accompanying instruments, but the tracks were lost or something. It sounds like it's missing something there. Where are we at? Just push play. I'm sorry, no. Fallen Angels. That was the last track. Okay, I'm looking at my notes here. That was the last track. Overall, the album as a whole just kind of comes in kind of thin for me. I feel like it's really trying to bring back that 80s, early 90s magic they had that sold well, and they kind of fell short.
Yeah, they do a lot of interesting things sound wise on this record that but nothing's great. But it is an interesting lead. It's a fun listen, I guess. I'll say that. But before we rank it, we at least got to talk about one of these singles because we don't want to miss a thing. So, yeah, I'm sure everybody here knows that song.
Yeah.
What are
Come up.
What are your thoughts on that song?
Never heard it.
We'll wait for you. We'll let you go listen to it real quick and let us know what you think.
Do you mind if I go ahead and start off with that single?
You go ahead while Tim listens to it.
I saw the movie, I want to say 3 times in theaters. I was at the time very excited that Aerosmith was getting so much attention with that song because had been like kind of my pocket favorite since I was 10. And as far as a rock ballad goes, I mean, could you do a whole episode on Aerosmith's rock ballad, and rank them? I mean, it's not their best, not their worst. It's just another one of those songs, but it also sounds a bit borrowed at times. Um, I believe that there was a country singer made somehow harder to listen to version of it, which made me kind of grateful for the Aerosmith version. Overall, I think it stands up there with their rock ballads. I think it hangs up there with the rest of them.
I think it's their number one selling charting song too.
I would I would guess that that's probably pretty accurate without looking at any kind of data because
and they
that seems
didn't
to be
even write it.
he didn't.
No, it's a Diane Warren song. She wrote it. Remember that name because it's going to come up later. All these
Wrote
names
it for
you've
the
been
band,
hearing.
or was it it wasn't a cover, was it?
No, she wrote it for the band.
Okay.
Like I said, I was off the Aerosmith train at this point. I saw that movie in theaters too, only once, but yeah, it's just another ballad for me.
It was kind of cool that my girlfriend was listening to Aerosmith at the time, even though it wasn't the songs I wanted to pick. But it's better than listening to Usher.
I was probably dating George at the time. She wasn't listening to Aerosmith. What about you?
I think I'm a bit younger than you though, so I think I may have been
Yeah, you had been like what,
16,
14?
15, 16, somewhere in that range.
I was 17.
I was going on dates, maybe not driving yet, so maybe yeah. How old are you now?
Old.
44-ish.
Okay, so I'm 41, so yeah. I guess I was a little.
15, 16, 15. You'd have been 14, yeah.
I guess I was doing the whole like dropped off dates thing, but
To be
That
fair, when I
tracks.
was 14, my girlfriend at the time, she listened to Aerosmith. All right, Tim, where you at? I know it's a long one.
Yeah, it's okay. They're pretty much just repeating the chorus at this point. Hard pass.
Just on the album, or just the song?
Or just the song.
Just the song. I mean, the song for sure.
No spoilers.
Hey, we still got color code this shit.
What about you, Bill? You got anything for I Don't Want to Miss a Thing?
Yeah. So 97, I wasn't even born yet.
Well, you missed it. You missed a thing.
I mean, the song was still big though, because it was played in a bunch of movies.
Middle school dances.
Yeah, high school dances. I mean, you name it.
Karaoke night?
Nope. Never made karaoke night. That's what Nickelback's for.
Other songs written by Diane Warren include "If I Could Turn Back Time."
Really?
We got a Celine
Ace of
Dion
Base.
song, "Because You Loved Me." "How Do I Live" by Leanne Rimes. She first gained recognition on her work on DeBarge's 1985 single, "It's the Rhythm of the Night."
Wow.
What would skating rinks be like if it wasn't for that song?
Who knows?
Different carpet, for sure.
the props to her. Like, if you look into her, like, she's actually a really interesting person. Like, how she does it, what she does, it's pretty interesting.
Okay. Reba McEntire, Enrique Iglesias, Trisha Yearwood, Bryan Adams, Elton John, Aaliyah, Beyonce, Whitney Houston, Lady Gaga, Lindsay Lohan, Mariah Carey, Mark Chestnut, Milli Vanilli.
This
Alice
one by
Cooper.
far, this is probably her biggest though. I don't know. She wrote some
Rhythm of the
songs.
Night was pretty big.
Yeah, Rhythm was pretty big.
I don't
I
think
mean,
it was as
so
big as
what
this
if I
song.
could turn back time? Like, wasn't that like, was that Cher's biggest one, or was that just?
Well, if we're going by numbers, her biggest one is going to be "Say Don't Go" that she co-wrote with Taylor Swift and debuted at number 5.
Oh, she on that Tay-Tay train. Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting time for the band, though. They interesting times. This is where it's going to get crappy because I got to start scrolling here. Brian's got to guess this one, huh?
Oh no. Oh no.
That's the thing that sucks. The more and more albums we get, the more it's like, all right, we just gotta start separating. Like, yeah, these 5 are over here, these 4 are over there.
And it's almost like, where's the middle point? Okay. So
What
Jason.
middle point?
I didn't hear a lot of redeeming language from Jason or Tim or Bill. So I'm gonna just go ahead and say 12 for all 4 of us.
No.
All right, so Jason, not your last. Let's say it's right after Draw the Line.
That is correct.
Okay.
And I'll say. Well, I'll wait till you rank everybody, then I'll say my final notes while I rank.
All right. So Tim, I'm trying to recall back here what you said, but this Miller Lite is so loud I can't hear my memories. Let's see.
That's okay. It's screaming over here, too.
Okay.
What?
I'm gonna put you right above Done with Mirrors.
I could go with that. Yeah.
Okay. And for Bill, I'm very surprised it's not your last. It seemed like it was
positive things I said about it.
I just felt like it was so far one of your least favorite of them. So I'm gonna say right above Rock in a Hard Place.
It's a little bit higher than that.
Okay, by 1.
By 2.
Okay, better than Draw the Line.
Yes.
All right.
Color code will definitely tell all.
Man, the color code's getting harder and harder to figure out where it's at.
All right, and for Brian, I'm gonna be like Tim, and I'm gonna guess that Brian's gonna put it right before Rock and Hard Place.
Didn't you initially guess all 4 of us would have it number 12?
Yes,
I did. That's right. That's
Hey,
right.
sometimes your own pick is the hardest.
Well, I
You
guess
got
you
that
could call it a
right.
mulligan. You know, it's like kind of like the more probably gonna be all of our last favorite. But then I'm looking at the visual here, and I'm like, I just
Don't let
it's
anything we say influence anything you want to do. Trust me.
no. I
If it
mean,
isn't
Yeah, we
anything
it's
still
it's
got
else,
3 more to
dynamic. It's
go,
definitely
too.
dynamic. And when I'm looking at the graphics, it's like I don't have as much fun listening to Done with Mirrors or Rock and Hard Place for all of its shortcomings. It's got some fun moments.
just make sure you don't mess up your color coding. That's the most important part.
Oh yeah. My final notes say I don't like Post Get a Grip Aerosmith, but Nine Lives wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be going into it. Still, there's nothing great on here, nothing new, nothing original. I'll take pink memes over jailbait any day, so it's going right above that. And then Done with Mirrors, kind of, yeah, whatever. All right, what we got next?
Just push play, right?
Just push play.
Do that for the playlist down below. Just push play and watch all these videos, one right after another.
Oh, nice one. I like it. Stick around for that. Thank you again, Brian, for joining us. You've been a great special guest. If you'd like to be a special guest, hit us up in Discord. We post our schedules so you can see what we're going to record and jump on in. We'll respect your opinion. Be safe and make good decisions.
It's my new obsession.